Good morning, ma. In previous class, we have completed with solid state chapter. Okay, and today we are going to start with new chapter, that is surface chemistry. Already I told we are remained with three chapters. Those are surface chemistry, P block, D and F block elements. Okay, all these three are theoretical chapters, ma. So definitely I have to take the help of textbook, because as it is theory, all the points okay to be explained on board or to remember that one, sometimes there is a chance to be missed with one or two points. Okay, to avoid all these things, because it is not a conceptual explanation. Conceptual means like derivation or any other thing. Okay, completely theoretical. At once if you go through, you will understand. Okay, so these three chapters, those are surface chemistry, P block, D and at least surface chemistry has some topics which can be explained, but P, D and F block elements are completely inorganic, rememberable means maximum theoretical chapters only. So we need to take, I need to take the help of textbook and I will explain now. So let us see our new chapter, that is surface chemistry. This chapter also, according to our reduced syllabus only, we will go through. Before that, by seeing the heading itself, what we have to understand, this is the branch of chemistry which deals with the process which are taking place at surface. The process which are taking place at surface. Okay, before going to this heading, what about the uses of this surface chemistry introduction part? Okay, all these things we will see once. Let us open the textbook, all of you. Unit 5. Surface chemistry deals with phenomena that occur at the surface or interfaces. The process which are taking place at surfaces, we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, the interface or surface is represented by separating the bulk phases by a hyphen or a slash. If you have solid and gas, okay, what is the interface between that gas and solid? Are surface separated by the one surface which is present on solid only, that is represented with hyphen. Okay, interface or surface is represented by separating the bulk phases by hyphen or slash. For example, the interface between a solid and a liquid gas may be represented by solid gas or solid gas, like this, hyphen or slash. Due to complete miscibility, there is no interface between the gases. If you take gases, air, if you consider air, in that all the gases are present, as they are completely miscible, means they are intermixed with each other homogeneously. Because of that, there is no boundary between them. Here, that interface or surface, it is like boundary. Okay, that's why we cannot show that slash or hyphen between the gases. Okay, there is no interface between the gases. The bulk phases that we come across in surface chemistry may be pure compounds or solutions. Anything might be. The interface is normally a few molecules thick, but its area depends on the size of the particles of bulk phases. Many important phenomena noticeable amongst these being corrosion, electrode process, heterogeneous catalysis, dissolution and crystallization occur at interfaces. The subject of surface chemistry finds many applications in industry, analytical work and daily life situations. This is like a introduction part they give. Okay, we found surface chemistry applications in so many industries. Okay, next, to accomplish surface studies meticulously, it becomes imperative to have a really clean surface. Okay, under very high vacuum of the order of 10 power minus 8 to 10 power minus 9 Pascal. 10 power minus 8 to 10 power minus 9 Pascal means very low pressure, almost vacuum. Okay, it is now possible to obtain ultra clean surface. Otherwise, at normal conditions, if you take any surface and if you think that is clean surface, it is not like that, because it is accumulated with some dust particles or any other particles like that. Okay, of the metals. Solid materials with such clean surfaces need to be stored in vacuum. Otherwise, these will be covered by the molecules of the major components of air. What are the components present in air? Like dust, water vapor, like this, so many molecules are present in the air. If you are not going to store them in vacuum, definitely this one will be happened. Okay. Otherwise, these will be covered by molecules of the major components of air, namely dioxin and dinitrogen. Okay. In this unit, you will be studying some important features of surface chemistry such as adsorption, okay, catalysis and colloids, including emulsions and gels. Like that they gave me. Actually, for you it is reduced portion. Okay. In this also they reduced some topics. According to the reduced topics alone, I will go through. Okay. So first adsorption is there. We will go through adsorption. Before that one, till now we have gone through the introduction part. Okay. Now in this unit you will be studying some important features of surface chemistry such as adsorption, catalysis and colloids. See, colloids we got here. Actually solutions, at the time of solutions we have seen that solutions, main solutions are of three types: true solutions, colloidal solutions and suspensions. Okay. In the chapter we completed true solutions. Now we are going through colloids, including emulsions and gels. Okay. Now adsorption. We have started with adsorption. Before going to that theory part, just I will explain some points regarding this adsorption. We have two terms: adsorption, absorption. Observe the spellings correctly. Adsorption and absorption. What is the difference between these two? Adsorption and absorption. Okay. By explaining with one example, it will be more clear for us. Observe. Let us consider one chalk piece. The chalk piece and ink I took, blue ink. Blue ink, definitely it is a mixture mark. It is a colored dye, blue colored dye dispersed in solvent. Okay, this is a solution. That blue ink, whatever it is there, that is a solution. Blue colored dye will be dispersed in solvent. It is formed as a solution. Okay, so it has two components mainly, dye and solvent. Now I am going to keep this chalk piece in this blue ink. After removal that one, suppose up to this much I immersed. Up to this much I immersed. Then after removing, this is before and this is after. After removing the chalk piece, till this much it is immersed in that much extent, outside we will observe blue color. Okay, it is clear. Blue color will be absorbed outside. Okay, now what did I do? Correctly, up to here I have broken into two pieces. Then this piece is there, na? I am observing like this. This piece I am observing like this. See, previously like this, na? Now I turn like that. This piece I have broken here correctly. Okay, this one remove that one. This piece I am observing. See, if you observe this piece, inside this is white color only. Inside it is white color only. Only surface is blue color. Only surface is blue color. That one practically we can do that one and we can observe. Even some students in their earlier classes at the time of childhood they might have checked also. Okay. Here this part is white color, ma. outside part alone it is blue color. What happened here? That blue color dye is there na? Actually this blue ink is the mixture of two components. That blue ink dye, the dye is dissolved in solvent, correct? That blue colored dye alone, it is remained on the surface. That blue colored dye alone, it is remained on the surface. That process is called adsorption. The process of accumulation of one substance on the surface of another substance. The process of accumulation of one surface on the surface of one substance on the surface of another substance is called adsorption. It is not bulk phenomena. Bulk means inside. It is related to only surface. It is related to only surface. Okay. Now this is very much clear. If you keep this chalk piece, okay, into this blue ink, that blue ink will not be going inside of the chalk piece. If you break that piece here exactly, we can observe that color here. This is white color, and that surface alone it is contained with blue color. Okay, ma? Here itself we will get what is this absorption also. Let us see. It is observed as white color, but touch that one. This is observed as white color, but once touch that one, ma, it will be wet in nature. Wet means that solvent which is present in blue ink. That solvent which is present in blue ink, it is absorbed. That process is into the bulk. This what? Suppose let us take water as a solvent, or ether as a solvent. Let us consider. Okay, that ether, it will be absorbed. That means it is going into the bulk of the chalk piece. It is going into the bulk of the chalk piece. So if you touch that one here, it will be wet, definitely. But color is white color only, meaning that blue color is stopped up to the surface only, but that solvent is entering into the bulk of the chalk piece. That process is called adsorption. Inside. That process is called absorption. Adsorption, absorption. Is it okay, ma? All of you? I hope you are clear. Okay. Adsorption is a surface phenomena. It is the bulk phenomena. If you keep sponge in water, whether it will be water is stopped up to surface or it will be into the bulk of the sponge, it is into the bulk of the sponge. That is absorption. It is water is entering into the bulk of the sponge. If you just squeeze that one, it will be coming, water is coming out. Correct or not? That is absorption. We are not talking about in this topic absorption because it is a bulk phenomena. We are talking about only adsorption. It is okay, ma? That is about difference between adsorption and absorption. Adsorption is a surface phenomena. Absorption is a bulk phenomena. Okay. If you take one substance, that surface contains, this substance contains, this is surface, and remaining entire, this is bulk. Okay, I think you understood the example, ma. Even actually in textbook they gave this example only. Okay, now I will read that one once, you will understand. Before that, once observe the board, ma, all of you. What did we understand here? We understood the difference between two terms. Those are adsorption and absorption. Adsorption is a surface phenomena. Absorption is a bulk phenomena. This one is checked with by using a chalk piece into the blue ink. We have immersed up to that much extent. Okay. If you break that chalk piece and observe that one, inside we will see that is white color only. Means blue color dye is not absorbed, it is adsorbed only. It is stopped up to surface only. Okay. But solvent which is present in blue ink, it is absorbed into the bulk of the chalk piece. Okay, it is clear. This concept is clear. Now, what are the things they gave in textbook? Once I will go through, let us see. There are several examples which reveal that the surface of a solid has the tendency to attract and retain the molecules of the phase with which it comes into contact. These molecules remain only at the surface and do not go deeper into the bulk. Okay, the accumulation of molecular species at the surface rather than in the bulk of a solid or liquid is termed as adsorption. The molecular species or substance which concentrates or accumulates at the surface is called adsorbate. Here, blue color is adsorbed onto chalk piece surface, correct? This blue color dye is called adsorbate. That blue color dye is called adsorbate. Otherwise, I will write separately, See. The molecular species or substance which concentrates or accumulates at the surface is termed as adsorbate, and the material on the surface of which the adsorption takes place is called adsorbent. Okay, this chalk piece surface is there, na? This is called adsorbent. Blue color dye is there, na? That is adsorbate. Blue color dye, adsorbate. That chalk piece surface is called adsorbent. Like solvent and solute. Solute is in minor quantity, solvent is in major quantity. Like that you can remember. Adsorbent, adsorbate. Okay, next. Adsorption is essentially a surface phenomena. Solids, particularly in finely divided state, have large surface area, and therefore charcoal, silica gel, alumina gel, clay, colloids, metals in finely divided state, etc. act as good adsorbents. If you see newly bought any objects like water bottle like that or shoes, inside they will keep one small sachet, small packet. That packet contains, if you see, observe that packet, on that they will mention silica gel or charcoal powder. Okay, why they have mentioned that one? If they keep that one inside, if any moisture is present inside, that moisture will be absorbed by that silica gel or that one. Otherwise, because of that moisture inside, it will be getting smell. So if you open once, it will not be looking like a new object if you get smell. That's why they will keep one packet inside. Even water bottles also you might have observed. Okay, adsorption in action. If a gas like O2, H2, CO, Cl2, NH3 and or SO2 is taken in a closed vessel containing powdered charcoal, it is observed that the pressure of the gas in the enclosed vessel decreases. Why it is getting decreased? Because some gas is going to be adsorbed onto surface of charcoal inside. Okay, if you see some ads we are getting nowadays, charcoal contained by cream, charcoal cream. That cream contains charcoal. Okay, they will show that charcoal cream will be inside. Okay, and dust particles like that, they are present inside. Immediately the dust particles, everything, it will be adsorbed onto charcoal and we will get clear face. Like that they will show ads. Or otherwise one ad is there. That glass contains water with full of dust particles like that, they will keep one small round colored spear ball inside. Immediately that total particles will be adsorbed onto that one and it is getting filtered particles. Okay, even alum is also working on the principle only. Impure water, in impure water, if you keep some alum, all the particles, dust particles, impurities, all those things will be resided onto that alum. Remaining water is getting pure. Like that, adsorption plays important role in our day-to-day life also. Okay, now the gas molecules concentrate at the surface of the charcoal, that is, gases are adsorbed at the surface. Next, in a solution of an organic dye, say methylene blue, when animal charcoal is added, animal charcoal, wood charcoal, all these are nothing but, okay, Suppose if you take normal wood charcoal, when wood is burnt, you will get that charcoal, coal. That is wood charcoal from wood. Like that, different types of charcoal are there. The property of charcoal is it will be absorbing the other substances. Okay. In a solution of an organic dye, say methylene blue, when animal charcoal is added and the solution is well shaken, it is observed that the filtrate turns colorless. That means solvent alone it is coming out. If you filter that one, we are getting solvent alone. Why? That organic dye methylene blue is there, na? It will be absorbed onto that wood charcoal, animal charcoal. It is observed that the filtrate turns colorless. The molecules of the dye thus accumulated on the surface of charcoal, that is, are adsorbed. Aqueous solution of raw sugar, when passed over beds of animal charcoal, becomes colorless, as the coloring substances are adsorbed by the charcoal. Like this, in purification techniques also they will use. The air becomes dry in the presence of silica gel. Air becomes dry in the presence of silica gel. That only I said in shoes packets like that they will use. Okay, because the water molecules get adsorbed on the surface of the gel. Little bit moisture is there, it will be adsorbed onto the gel. Okay, it is clear from the above examples that solid surfaces can hold the gas or liquid molecules by virtue of adsorption. The process of removing an adsorbed substance from a surface on which it is adsorbed is called desorption. Okay, till this we got the idea about adsorption and everything. Now let us see what is this desorption. This is the solid surface, on that gas molecules are present. Already they are adsorbed. Okay, after some time we are going to remove them. The process of removing these adsorbed molecules is called desorption. The process of removing the adsorbed molecules. The process of removing the adsorbed molecules is called desorption. Okay, please don't think that this is not important. How much important that adsorption is, that much same important this desorption also. How much important that adsorption is, that much same important this desorption also. That's why both adsorption and desorption are combinedly called as sorption. If both the processes are taken place, or both are combinedly called as sorption. This common thing is there, na? They kept like this name. Okay, ma? Both adsorption and desorption are combinedly called as sorption. This is about desorption also. Is it clear, all of you, everyone? Okay, I hope you understand, ma? We will go for next concept. Actually, in this adsorption only, next concept. Before that, we will see what is the difference. Already we have seen what is the difference between adsorption and absorption. Now we are going to see that one in textbook. Okay, let us see what is the difference between adsorption and absorption. They gave the distinction between. Okay, in adsorption the substance is concentrated only at the surface and does not penetrate through the surface to the bulk. That is in adsorption, bulk of the adsorbent. While in absorption the substance is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of the solid. For example, see, when a chalk stick is dipped in ink, the surface retains the color of the ink due to adsorption of colored molecules, while the solvent of the ink goes deeper into the stick due to absorption. On breaking the chalk stick, it is found to be white from inside. A distinction can be made between absorption and adsorption by taking an example of water vapor. Water vapors are absorbed by anhydrous calcium chloride. Calcium chloride will absorb the water molecules, but silica gel will adsorb AD. Silica gel will adsorb the water molecules. Calcium chloride will absorb the water molecules. Okay. In other words, in adsorption the concentration of the adsorbate increases only at the surface of the adsorbent, while in absorption the concentration is uniform throughout the bulk of the solid. Both adsorption and absorption can take place simultaneously also. The term sorption is used to describe both the process. Here I told desorption and adsorption. Even absorption also is included. Absorption and adsorption is called sorption. Just 1 minute. Even that also no problem. Absorption and adsorption both are commonly called sorption. Okay, that is about this one. Now we are going to see the mechanism. If you see this mechanism, adsorption arises due to the fact that the surface particles of the adsorbent are not in the same environment as the particles inside the bulk. Inside the adsorbent, all the forces acting between the particles are mutually balanced. But on the surface, the particles are not balanced. Okay, this one without textbook we can go through. Let us see. Under this mechanism, this is the surface. This is the surface we have. Here molecules are present, atoms or molecules, any particles. Okay, this is enough. Continuation is there. All the particles only. See, this layer alone, this first layer alone, these are the particles present on the surface. Remaining all the particles included into the bulk. Okay, now concentrate one particle present in bulk. That particle is present in bulk. Okay, that particle, it is attracted by the molecules which are present nearby to that one from all the directions equally. See, bulk particle is attracted by from all the corners particles equally. There is no difference here. From all the corners, it is getting attracted by the particles equally. Is it okay? But this particle which is present on the surface, let us consider this particle which is present on the surface, attracted by only like this. From here, no particle is there. Correct or not? From above, no particle is there. It is attracted by only these particles. From all the sides, particles are not present. Surface particles are not surrounded by all the particles from all the corners. But bulk particles are surrounded by all the corners, all the particles equally. So attraction of this particle with other particles are same. No net force will be generated. No net force. But here what is happening here? This particle is attracted from the below only. From the below. Then this is free only. This side it is free. Then what it will do? If any particle is present in gas state, this force is not balanced. See, it is not balanced by upward. Then what it will do? To maintain that balance of the force, or to balance the force from above also, then what it will do? If any particles present in gas state, it will absorb them. Then it is completely surrounded by these particles. Then somewhat the force is getting balanced. Okay, so because of this unbalanced force, surface molecules have the capacity to attract the particles from another substance. Okay, to maintain, or because of this unbalanced force, see, from only three directions only present, one direction the force is not there, but bulk particle is attracted by all the particles equally. Okay, because of this unbalanced force, the surface particle, it wants to attract particles from gaseous state or any other phase. Because of that, the surface particles has capacity to attract. Then what it will be leading? That surface will be covered by all the particles. The surface particles are covered by some particles like this. It is surface phenomena. Then what will be happen if they form one layer? These particles, the surface particles are all balanced. Okay, this is completely because of unbalanced forces. Okay, so to balance them, the surface particles have the capacity. Only surface particles, why they are able to absorb? This is the process. This is the mechanism. Is it okay, ma'am? All of you? Is it clear? So once again I am going to tell the point. Because of this unbalanced forces, only surface particles have that capacity to attract the particles from other substance. That process is called adsorption. Okay, bulk phenomena particles will not be. Okay, then water are like this. If more particles are there, automatically they will only go inside, not attraction. Suppose previously we have taken that chalk piece. Into the chalk piece solvent went in. Why the solvent is went in, man? Because gaps are present inside the bulk. Na? Into that gaps the solvent will go and present. That is not attraction. But surface, it will attract the particles present because of unbalanced forces. Okay, this is the mechanism of adsorption. I hope you are clear. Next, in terms of thermodynamics also we can explain this one. Let us see. In terms of thermodynamics also we can explain. According to thermodynamics, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. If delta G is equal to negative, the process is spontaneous. Spontaneous means it will be happened. If delta G is equal to positive, the process is non-spontaneous. The process is non-spontaneous. Okay, note down this data, all of you. According to thermodynamics, we have one term, that is one formula. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay, in that the resultant, if you get, suppose right side everything we will apply, finally if you get delta G is equal to negative, then only the process is spontaneous. If delta G is equal to positive, the process is non-spontaneous. Okay, let us see continuation of this one. See, here I am writing delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Let us see first delta H. This is the surface of the solid or adsorbent. Okay, now these gas molecules are there. These gas molecules are going to be adsorbed onto the surface. these gas molecules are going to be adsorbed onto the surface. While this is going to be adsorbed onto the surface, we will say simply this surface is going to attract the particles. That surface is going to attract the particles. That is attraction force. If it is attraction and new attraction is going to be formed, at the time of accumulation on the surface, what happened to energy? Energy releases. What happened to energy? Energy releases. In chemical bond itself we have seen, if any new attraction is formed, energy released. If attraction is broken, energy will be absorbed. If attraction is broken down, energy will be absorbed. Is it okay? If new attraction is formed, energy will be released. Now energy is released. If energy is released, that process is called exothermic. Delta H is adsorption is exothermic. Then delta H is equal to negative. If a process is exothermic, delta H is equal to negative. Okay, remember in this terms delta H value we got negative. Okay, this one keep aside. Next term delta S. What is meant by S? Entropy, degree of disorderness. In electrochemistry also we have discussed. Okay, degree of disorderness is called entropy. How much highly it is disordered, that much highly entropy is present. Okay, let us see now. This is the solid surface. This is gas state. These are gaseous particles. These gaseous particles are going to be adsorbed onto solid surface. Okay, before adsorption, the particles are present in which state? Gas state. Gas state means they are very free, highly disordered. Then here, high entropy. Before adsorption, I am talking about before adsorption, they are present in gas state. Means the particles are present very freely each other. Highly disordered. High disordered means highest. Then at the time of adsorption, what is happening? These particles are going to be adsorbed onto solid. They are coming closer or not? They are coming closer and their order is getting increased. Means disorder decreases. If disorder decreases, S value decreases. Here high S value, here low S value. So I am going to tell one sentence, that is, because of adsorption, what happened to S value? Decreased. High S value became low S value. When entropy is decreased, delta S is equal to negative. If entropy decreases, delta S is equal to negative. If entropy increases, delta S is positive. Okay, net. From high S value to low S value, what happened to S? Decreases. When S value decreases, delta S is equal to negative. Are you clear, ma? In gas state, the particles are very highly disordered. Highly disordered means high S value. Then after adsorption, what happened to those particles? Those particles are going to be adsorbed onto surface. Because of that, what happened to S value? Decreased. When S value is decreased, delta S is equal to negative. So delta S is equal to negative. This is the clarity. Okay, now I am going to write this formula here. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta H is negative minus capital T into negative. This capital T is absolute Kelvin. It is 0 or only positive values. 0, don't take that one, because if you take 0, always it is negative only. Then delta G is equal to negative, spontaneous. That is no problem. We will understand easily. If you consider T and if you see what will be happen, let us see. Okay. Now if you see capital T, that is positive. Okay, 1, 2, 3 Kelvin only. Kelvin scale we will not get negative values. Then I am going to write this is equal to negative minus of positive into negative. This is negative, this is positive and minus of minus positive. Like this we got the thing. Delta G is equal to negative positive. Okay ma. Now to be spontaneous, delta G must be negative. Then to be negative, this value must be high and this value must be low. Here if you have minus 5 and if you have here plus 3, then you will get resultant minus only. What is this value total? This is delta H. This value T delta S. So adsorption to be spontaneous, delta H must be greater than T delta S. Delta H must be greater than T delta S. That is the condition. If delta H is greater than T delta S, meaning more amount of energy must be released, then it will get more negative value. Please don't think that here negative is nothing but less. Okay, if negative of delta H increases, value increases. Minus 500, minus 700. There 700 only it is high. Minus is representing simply energy is released. Okay ma? So every time delta H must be greater than T delta S. Delta H is equal to minus 700. Delta H is equal to minus 500. These two, this is delta H1, delta H2. Delta H1 is greater than delta H2. Don't think that this is greater than that one. That is not according to our mass. Minus is representing only energy released. Okay, 700 is greater than 500, same as it is. So, if delta H is greater than T delta S, this value must be greater than this one. T delta S, completely I am taking one. Okay, this value must be this greater than this one. Then automatically delta G value will be negative. Then the reaction will be spontaneous. So if the adsorption to be spontaneous, delta H must be greater than T delta S. That is the condition. I hope you are clear. Everything. Okay. Note down on the board whatever it is present. Carefully all of you. Finally, see all of you. This is the solid surface. First layer is adsorbed. While first layer is adsorbed, more amount of energy will be released, E1. Second layer is getting adsorbed onto first layer. Directly it is not in contact. Second layer is not in directly contact with solid surface. It is in contact with first layer only. Then energy released will be less only, E2. Next, third layer, E3. Like that, from E1 to E2, what happened to energy? Decreased. Because E1 is nothing but energy released when molecules are in contact with solid surface. E2 is nothing but energy released because of contact of second layer particles with first layer particles. Then E3. Like that, slowly what will be happen? Initially delta H is greater than, this is delta H1, this is delta H2, delta H3. Like that, first layer has higher delta H1. Initially delta H is higher. Next layer to next layer, delta H decreases. To next layer, delta H further decreases. Like that, after formation of 4 or 5 layers, after formation of 4 or layers, after some extent, delta H is equal to T delta S. After some extent, actually, adsorption to be taken place, delta H is greater than T delta S. So delta H is here, T delta S is here. After second layer, delta H decreases. Again delta H decreases. Finally, this delta H and T delta S values are getting same. When delta H is equal to T delta S, delta G is equal to 0, then adsorption will be stopped. If delta G is equal to 0, adsorption will be stopped. So after 4 or 5 layers, adsorption will not be taken place. After 4 or 5 layers, adsorption will not be taken place. Till that extent, the surface molecules have such capacity to hold the molecules. 4 or 5 layers. That is depending on the particles present in the adsorbent. Okay, ma? This is the explanation according to thermodynamics factor. Okay, first layer, at the time of adsorption of first layer, more amount of energy will be released. Because of second layer, little bit more, little bit less. Like that, slowly, after 4 or 5 layers adsorbed, delta H value decreases, and finally delta H is equal to T delta S. If delta H is equal to T delta S, delta G is equal to 0, then adsorption will be stopped. In that way, we will say that any soil surface has no infinity capacity to attract any number of molecules. It has some limit. Okay, up to 4 or 5 layers or 3 layers like that, it will be adsorbed and it will be stopped. Okay, after some extent, delta G is getting equal to 0, adsorption will be stopped. This is the explanation regarding mechanism of the adsorption. Are you clear, ma? So we completed adsorption, differences between adsorption and absorption, and even sorption we have seen. After that, mechanism. I hope you are very clear. Next class we will see types of adsorption, ma. After seeing the types of adsorption, we will see next. Okay, by types of adsorption, this adsorption topic will be completed. I hope today's class you understood everyone. Today we have started with surface chemistry, introduction part. After that we started with adsorption. After completion of the adsorption, we have types of adsorption. That one we will see in next class. Okay, that is about today's class, ma. All of you, have a nice day. Thank you all.